Okay, so here is an example of a local community page. I take the Moreton Bay community as an example. So you land on this page and you get some options like the local business directory if you like, learning, what courses are in the area, growing, so what kind of stuff should you and can you grow in the Postcode community, communities, local exchange, and news. Now, communities here, because it can be multiple communities within the Moreton Bay. So at the moment we only have the Moreton Bay community, if you like. There is a Samford community which is part of the Moreton Bay Council, but we just grouped it up that way. So essentially this page will link all the different communities together as well. But at the moment we only set it up for Moreton Bay as an example. So you can have multiple edible exchanges in Moreton Bay. So at the moment we got one in Debra, Eaton's Hill, and in Samford. I'm not sure if Eaton's Hill is part of Moreton Bay, but you get the idea. And then news. So this is not the mainstream news. You see, it's more news you guys think are important, like posts. So you can put a post up and say, look, this is what just happened in Moreton Bay or in my local community. So the whole thing is this is a page you go to find all the important stuff for your postcode community. Get rid of all the other noise and yabble dabble. If you want to have the other noise and yabble dabble, you can go to a higher level, as in see what else is there available. So you can hop on articles, for example, and see it all there. But if you just say, look, I just want to stick to my local community for the time being, then this is the page you go to. So we introduce a local community here. So this is Moreton Bay local community, a fancy picture, which is all the postcodes if you like. And then we'll list all the postcodes associated to this local community. We use postcodes because they're already nice, clearly defined, so we don't have to redo the work. We're strong believers in if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. And postcodes seem to be working just fine. Then we're going to have a map here which says which shows what initiatives are available in that local community. So we zoom all the way out, but you can also zoom all the way in. So you can then see the fantastic initiatives from RECO. It's really good. I really like RECO. You got some local exchanges here popping up. So there's one in Kemp Mountain and there, which of course is not Moreton Bay, but you have a RECO in North Lakes, which is Moreton Bay, and you got this fancy town here in called Debra, which is very lucky to have a edible exchange and a RECO. So the edible exchange down set up by Corinne, and the RECO is set up by Jackie. Both fantastic efforts and fantastic stuff. So again, we're not going to replace it. There's no desire for that. Don't fix what ain't broken. The main reason again why we set up the trade check is not everybody wants to be on Facebook. Facebook is doing a lot of censoring, and generally that's okay. You don't have to worry about that. But if we have our own platform and where you can sort of do whatever you want to do within reason, then that might be better. We also hope that people who are not on Facebook now have a method and means to participate in RECO or in edible exchanges. Now, RECO is on Facebook, heavily relies on Facebook. It works for them, so I'm not expecting them to use this facility a lot, if at all. The edible exchange in Debra at the moment, same thing, works on Facebook, relies heavily on Facebook. I don't think they will move to this platform. That said, if you set up a new one and you start off on this platform, so let's say you want to set up a RECO, or you want to set up a edible exchange, in particular an edible exchange, for example, set one up in Yarraman, then start up on this platform and invite people here. RECO, again, I will most likely want to keep using Facebook. That works for them, and that is fine. So they should keep using that. So maybe I shouldn't use RECO as an example, but it is just one of those things that is available in online. Now I will link that to the appropriate Facebook pages, so it will get there eventually. Then local courses. So the courses we're going to set up are done by either yourself or by teachers or things like that. So we're going to have a certain amount of free courses available. We're going to have a certain amount of courses that are being on-sold by teachers. Teachers pay us a monthly fee for having their courses online, and then they can sell those courses to the general public. We will not see any money of that sales. We do not charge commissions on that. So your membership of $5 a quarter helps pay towards the cost of this website. Teachers pay a little bit more because they will require more hands-on help, and we provide them a facility to do courses and sell courses. Generally virtual classrooms, so it's not sort of I here have a course, click on it and off you go. Now we do expect teachers to say, look, here's a course that runs for, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or whatever it is, and every so many days we will have a virtual classroom where people can come in and to ask questions like in a real classroom. We do want to push for that, because there's already so many other courses online where you sort of click and do your own thing. That said, if you want to just click and do your own thing, then don't rock up on a virtual classroom. That is all fine. So in here we started saying, okay, look here, how to set up a local edible exchange. That is a free course. You can enroll that if you're a member. The same thing here from how to read a moon planting calendar. That's a free course. You can enroll if you're a member. This quick test course costs $5 of a dollar, sorry. You add it to cart and then you can participate in that course. Now we group them by local courses also, because there might be teachers who say, look, I only want to teach in Moreton Bay because I want to meet with people face to face offline. The offline component and the face-to-face component is big key of the trade check. We really want to get people off the internet and interact face-to-face. This means make your connection online and then take it offline. Get an introduction online, meet offline. So we did digital town square, but we really hope that people sort of go from eventually to, well, look, you know, I got so many connections outside the internet now, I don't need it anymore. And if you say that, then our objective is achieved. There's too much reliance on social media. There's too many people sort of sitting behind the screen and keyboard and doing their thing, and that's fine if they want to do that. But we really like to see, like in the old days, that people actually meet face to face, have a chat over coffee and things like that. So that's where we're aiming at. Now the same applies with local courses. So there might be a teacher who says, look, I got a personal training course or something like that. Here are the exercises I want you to do during the week, and then once a week let's meet up in the park and have a training session there. Again, it's not a new idea. It's not something we discovered or can say, look, that is our idea. It is just another way of doing things and just using existing processes and methods that work, and we just consolidate that here on the site, providing tools for people to actually bring their dream to life, so to speak. Backyard growing. So this is sort of an area where we like to see local growers. So if you live in Moreton Bay, which is in Queensland, you have different bits and pieces you can grow. We can grow pretty much everything all year round. But if you're in Victoria or in the Northern Territory or in Tasmania or in Perth, that might not be the case. So what we like to do here is, per local community or per growing area, have specific growing tips and tricks. We get a lot of questions from how do we grow lettuce, especially when lettuce was very expensive. What we can do here is say, look, if you're in the Moreton Bay area, just chuck some seed in the ground and it will grow, and you will have lettuce after give and take 3 or 4 weeks. If you're in Perth or in Victoria, you can throw all the seed you want, but it either dries or it either freezes. So for that reason, say, look, give us your specific tips and tricks for that particular area. What can you grow in this area and how to grow it. Now, if it's complicated, we'll write a course about it and you will see it available in the local courses. If it's just something from, look, here are the things you can grow in this area quite successfully, you can post about it. Members can post, so if you have a veggie garden or you want to share something or whatever, post it here. It's all good. Also, we would like to invite you as a backyard grower to participate in the edible exchanges. So we'll explain that in here and set up a local edible exchange. Perhaps we have to write a post about that as well. Local news. So local news is all about, like we said before, news that is related to your local community. That could be from, oh look, my cow is pregnant, I'm going to have a calf in 9 months. Fantastic. If you think that's news, post it up here. You get access to post it. We will ask the administrator or initially ourselves to review the post and screen them, so it's not going to be all funny and weird stuff, but otherwise just post it here. Local news, all good. Put it in the right category and it will only be shown here in the modern day local news. If you have, for example, Sanford, then you can show it in Sanford local news. It doesn't stop you from putting news in here what you think is important. So if you see some news on the mainstream media and you want to share that here, that's fine too, but make sure it's factual. Right? We don't want to that this turns into something that is just a collection of hocus pocus weird stuff. You know, we're not looking for that. We want to make sure that it's factual, it's you know, quality stuff. There's already so much rubbish out there and we can do without that. So that's basically it in regards to what a local community is, or what a postcode community is. Now there will be people sort of claiming from, oh, postcode community comes from here, postcode community comes from there, and that is fine.